Well, welcome back. Thanks for coming back to watch step one of the emergency disaster preparedness for families and individuals with functional needs. My name's Ray Morris, founder of Dads for Special Kids, and let's just get right into it. Hopefully you have your guidebook with you, that you've taken the time to print it out. That's going to help you out a lot as we go through this, because I'll be referring to pages, and they'll be showing up on the screen also. But there'll be times that you'll really want to look at it more as we're discussing it. And then don't forget also to refer to the frequently asked questions sections for more in-depth answers or to your life's particular situations. We try to get more in detail in that part. So, as I stated before, there's no specific amount of time to develop your emergency disaster plan. It revolves around you, your abilities, your unique situation. The focus is to continually focus on your support network and social network to maintain your independence in the event of emergency and disaster, because everybody's individual resilience is different. My resiliency in emergency and disasters can be completely different than my son Zachary's, because of his cognitive and also his physical limitations, also my physical and mental limitations. I do have some, and they're becoming more apparent. So also, share your plan with other people. Get your family, friends involved in your support system. It's not just you by yourself, because it's not going to be effective then. Your support system is going to be very narrow, very fragile, so you want to try to have as many people as you can in it. Also, understand that in emergency, especially disasters, you cannot rely upon the government. The government will be there, but the government, FEMA, is telling us to be self-sufficient for 96 hours. That's 4 days. So how are you going to do that? What's that going to look like? Your supplies for 4 days is going to be different than mine. There can be a lot of similarities, but they're all very dependent upon your unique situations and the things that you're required to have. So, and then you're developing your plan takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it has to change as you get older, because people come and go in your life. Your physical abilities change, cognitive levels sometimes change. So you're going to have to review your plan every once in a while. So as you look at this next slide, it's called your plan. In here is where you put the individual's name. Like for me, this particular one, I would put Zachary's name. Family plan would be Morris. Our phone number, email address, and then the primary people that are a part of his support system. We put in the little boxes along with their contact information and email, so how we can get a hold of them. And then if you look down at the very bottom, it says when the plan was prepared, and also it's supposed to be updated every 6 months. Real world, how are we going to do that? We're supposed to check our smoke detectors every month. How many people actually truly do that? When do we check our smoke detectors? When somebody's cooking and burns something. For us, it's every time we use the toaster, the smoke detector goes off. So try to update your plan once a year. Put it in your day timer on your iPhone or your Android phone, in your calendar, and set it for a reminder that you review it and try to update it. Because as you update it, you're going to have to update it your own individual, but then also the people that are part of your support system. You got to go to them and say, hey, how things going? Any changes? Here's some changes we've made. Are you comfortable with these changes? You're going to be able to still participate in your plan. So we'll get into more of this later on. So that's making your plan. Okay, now this slide here, this is the 5 steps to disaster planning. Okay, step 1, being informed. That's what we're going to go over today. And then we'll get steps 2, 3, 4, and 5 later on down the road. And there'll also be another video, and that'll be completely focused on self-disclosure and what that is and how you go about doing that, and is it right for you. So step 1, being informed. How do you become informed of an emergency? Let's start with a very basic one. Smoke detector goes off in your house. Audibly goes off. In my house, it goes off. What do? Well, when the boys were younger, we did fire drills. We said, okay, who's going to do what? Tyler, smoke alarm goes off. How are you going to get out of your room? Well, I'm going to open up my door, I'm going to check. If there's a lot of smoke, I'm going to close my door and stay in my room and wait for help to come. But if there's not smoke or smoke's real thin, I'm going to get down low and I'm going to crawl out. I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to go out the front door, and I'm going to go to the neighbor's house across the street. I'm going to wait there. That was our plan. Now add Zachary in. Smoke detector goes off in our house. Zachary will stay in his room, and if for this particular moment, if he's watching Thomas the Tank Engine, he will stay there and watch Thomas the Tank Engine. That smoke detector is right outside his door, probably 8-10 feet from him, screaming, will not faze him. He's focused on that TV. He's focused on the trains he has in his hands and the characters that are on that show, and that's where he's going to be at. Fire could be coming right up to him. Smoke could be filling the room. He's not going to respond. So how do we make Zachary informed and make him respond, or who's responsible for responding to Zachary to get him out of the house? That's what you have to look at. You have to look at your individual family, your individual situation, and determine how can we do that? What can it look like? Here's another example that we've been through. When the boys were younger, Zach and Tyler, smoke alarm would go off, and this was in a drill, and we told Tyler, hey, it's fire rooms, if you open up your door and there's smoke out there, close your door, stay in your room. And he goes, well, what about Zachary? And I go, that's Mom and I responsibility. We'll get him out. Well, if there's a lot of smoke, you're not going to be able to get to him. And like, true, that's true. How are we going to get to him? So we came up with this little idea. Tyler goes, well, you know what? I'll just kick through the wall, because they have a Carmen wall. He goes, I'll just kick through that wall to get to Zachary. Well, as I thought about that, I think a bad idea. So we taped off a little area, put a hammer there, told him how to do it, got some old drywall, practiced doing it, and said, okay, you break the drywall out, you go into Zachary's room, open up Zachary's bedroom window. In back, Zachary's bedroom window faces our driveway, and that's exactly where the fire truck would pull up. They would pull up right to our driveway, and his room would be facing it. And so Tyler would, the plan was, open up the bedroom window and throw toys or make scream, make noise, so that the firemen would see Zach or Tyler right at the windows they came up, so they knew that's right where they're going to go to rescue. High probability of rescue. So that was our plan. And it took time to develop. It didn't happen overnight, and a lot of it was Tyler. He initiated it and was willing to accept that responsibility. I wouldn't ask him to do it, but he chose to do it, and so that was part of our plan. So as you look down here on step one of being informed, first thing I mentioned is your smoke detector home. What is your plan in your home? How are you going to evacuate your home? What's your meeting locations? And does everybody know part of the plan of what they're responsible for? And the only way you're going to do that is by sitting down, talking with each other, and actually practicing making it a game. We do smoke detectors or fire drills at school. Our children are used to it. Why not just do them at home also? Make it part of your plan. Make it part of your, do a fire drill every month for a while, or every 3 months, whatever works for you. But know who's going to do what and who's responsible for it. Because for at home, our home, fire alarm goes off at nighttime. It's completely different if I'm home or if I'm not home, and we have to work around that. So then you look at your intrusion alarms. If you have a burglar alarm, how's that going to look in your home? Who's going to be doing what? Who's responsible for what? Also, you have to look at, is your individuals in your home aware of the alarm going off, like Zachary? Is there something else we could do? If there was something that would get his attention. For example, people that are deaf, they can't hear audible smoke alarms. So what do they have? They have vibrating ones that hook to their bed, shakes their bed at nighttime to make them wake up, or a flashing strobe light. And then they're able to respond, and they know what to do. They know what the signal means, and they have their little plan and action of knowing what to do. So you have to look at those kind of things also. And make sure everybody in your home is capable and able and willing to do their part in taking care of making sure everybody gets out. Big thing, make sure you know where that where your evacuation location is. Because as a fireman, I'm going to come to you. If I came to your house, I'm going to say, is everybody out of the house? Because that's our primary concern, life safety. We want to make sure everybody is out of the house. If you say yes, we go, great, a lot easier. Now we can just fight the fire. But if you say no, somebody's trapped in there, we're going to risk more to get in there to save that person. So that's why it's crucial that you have a plan, have a meeting location, and a way of getting everybody out of the house to that location. So. All right, the next step is along the same lines is looking at taking it to the places you frequent. For example, Zach's day program that he goes to, their particular fire drill plan. What does it look like? Does Zachary have a part to play in it? Does he know his part? Is he able to do his part? Or is there somebody that will stay with him and guide him and get him out? Where is that meeting location? Okay. Does he know where it's at? Also, do we know where it's at? If there was an event that took place at beyond one's view where Zach goes, do I know their evacuation location as his parent? I should know that. I need to know that. Because if they contact me and say, hey, there's a fire, I know right where to go. I know also the pickup procedure for picking him up. Okay? But if, for example, if I'm not able to go pick him up, who's the next person in line? My wife, Tyler, Zach's respite providers. So we have to have backup people that are able to go and pick up our loved ones in the event of if there's a fire at their location or for some reason they have to evacuate the building. Have those plans set up and everybody knows what the procedures are, what's the routine for picking up those loved ones. And how are you going to get a hold of them? Is it strictly by a telephone number? What happens if something big goes down and self-service goes down? Having backup ways of getting a hold of each other, which we'll get more into. So make sure you look at all the different places you frequent, know how their alert systems for fire and for emergency communications. So you can know that information, how it's going to be presented to you, so you know what your plan is of what you're going to do. So it all builds off fire drills. Fire drill at home, fire drill at school. Now just take it to your places of business, places you frequent, places where you get therapy you may go have, treatments, things like that. Know what their plan is. Okay, also try to know the evacuation route. Have a backup evacuation route, not just one primary way that you go. For some reason that primary way is a block, what's a secondary way you can get out of your house or a building? You know, like our house, bedrooms, we have two ways out of the bedrooms. You know, the first one is naturally through the bedroom door. Secondary, out a bedroom window. Hey, our bedroom window's on the second floor. How are we going to get down? You know, a little emergency ladder type thing works, or is there a little balcony you can climb onto? But you want to look at different ways of getting out of the house, especially if you have mobility impairments, cognitive impairments, making sure people are aware of that and there's a plan of how to get out, not just a primary but a secondary way. And it may take some time to develop that, but as long as you're thinking about it, it's going to make things a lot easier for you if something does happen and you have to use your plan. Okay. As this next slide that you're looking at, there's a community alert and warning system. How does your community alert you and make you aware of an emergency or a disaster? For like down here in the Phoenix metro area, we get our big thing is thunderstorms. But thunderstorms coming in. Yeah. Well, how do we find out about that? Primary one way is through the TV. Have the little closed captions that come up and the tone that goes off to alert us. Okay, that's one way. Another way is you can take your cell phones and subscribe to alert systems. Like a lot of news channels have it, media systems that you can sign up to be notified of emergencies or alerts in your geographical area that may threaten you. That you're going to have to look at on your own wherever you live at. You know, do a Google search of that. call your local fire department, call your local emergency manager, and ask them, because you want to be prepared for things. And the sooner you can find out about an emergency or disaster, the quicker and the better you're going to be able to put your plan into action and have a healthier outcome. So staying alert and staying aware of what's going on in your area. Okay, and also find out from your care facilities or treatment places that you go frequent, how are they going to alert you of emergency or disaster? Like Zach's adult day program, how will they notify us if something happens there? You know, not just one form of communication, have a backup. Because if phone service goes down for some reason, what's another way that they can alert us? Text messaging, email. They can call another person if outside of the area, and we'll touch on those things a little bit later. So as you saw on that slide, there's places you can sit down and write down information of where you can get more information, become alerted to emergencies and disasters in your area. There's also the reverse 911 we have here in Maricopa County, and it's a reverse 911 system. But you have to check your local area. And there's a lot of websites that collect information of emergencies going on in different areas. And actually a good one is the Weather Channel. That's their business. So, okay. Next thing is looking at emergency plans that you may be involved in places you frequent. A little example here is I work for the fire department. The fire department has an emergency disaster plan. Okay, I'm expected to be at work in the event of a disaster. Okay, well, for me to be at work, I need to know that Zachary and Kelly and Tyler are safe, that my emergency plan enables me to be at work. Because what's happened in a lot of disasters that have come through in areas is people bail on their positions. Crucial people, public works people, public safety people, you know, and we need those people to be there to do their jobs to help the community be more resilient and have a healthier outcome. But the only way they can be there is if they know their families are going to be safe. So you have to work with these organizations that you're connected with on their emergency plan, that it can support your plan so that you can be at work. Okay, and it's a little Pandora's box to say, because it gets a little tricky, and that's where a good relationship with your employer and the organizations that you're connected with that is important. Alrighty. I know this is a lot of information, and it's a lot to process, and it takes time. And that's why you got to print the guidebook out and slowly go through it and think about it, talk about it with your family members, your support system, and your employer, boss, to say, and make sure that they know what's going on, that you can work together. And so you want to look at every place that you frequent. You know, for us, my work, my wife's work, Zach's day program that he goes to, you know, physical therapy, occupational therapy places, and know what their plans are, and so that we can all be connected. If something happens at Zach's occupational therapy place, how are they going to notify us? What's their plan? Where are they going to be going if something happens? So that we know, so that we can respond appropriately to pick him up, to support him, support that organization. Okay, I use this little example. And it's you go to church, and you put your child in the children's ministry, and you go to the church service. All of a sudden, there's a fire alarm goes off. There's a fire in the building. What are you going to do as a parent? Now, most people are going to take off and run to go get their kid. That's the wrong thing to do. You need to evacuate. Go to the evacuation location, just like with everybody else. Once you get out there, now proceed over to where the evacuation location is for that children's ministry area, and then pick up your child there. Don't go running to the actual room or place you drop them off at, because that's going to cause confusion. That's going to cause delay. It's going to hinder the evacuation process, it could cause somebody to get injured, killed even. You have to trust their plan to take care of your kid and then you respond to where they tell you to and go through their pickup procedure process. That's why you want to know beforehand when you drop your kid off, hey, what's your evacuation plan? Where you go? Where's your location you're going to go to, and what's the pickup process? So that you can work with that. Don't go running to the room, because if all the parents go running there, nobody can get out. And it's going to be confusion. It's going to delay evacuation. So become aware of it. That's why I go back to, as I said before, knowing all the plans for all the places you frequent, of how they're going to operate, what they're going to do, where they're going to relocate to, so that you can go there to pick up your loved ones. So, all right, well, that's actually, I'm finding out this is only half of step 1, and we're 20 minutes into this already. And I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I want you to go back and continue to review what we've just talked about. Think about that, and we'll just add another video to step 1 to expand it, or to finish going through it, because I don't want to overload you guys with a lot of information right now, and I know it's a lot to sit down and to watch a video for this long. So thanks for taking the time, and I'll see you on the next one, and we will call it step 1.5. So have a good day.